Alrighty, we are live from Columbus. O, let's get the O right. There we go. O H. This is the Ramsey Show After Show, the bonus episode. We're doing 2-a-days in training camp here. And as the new time for the Ramsey Show is 9 in the a.m. Eastern Time. And I did an after show when that ended about 10:27 a.m. this morning, but I am also going to do a show, at least for the rest of this week, at 4 p.m. as well, and see where the views come in at. I'm leaning towards keeping it to right after the Ramsey Show debut on the YouTubes. And again, that's 9 a.m. Monday through Friday. And what they're doing is they're taking the live show that's still recorded at the same time, which is 2 p.m. Eastern, as it has been for 30 years now, or however long, since the 90s, definitely. And that's when it's recorded. Now, it used to be delayed 2 hours and start at 4 p.m. Eastern Time on the YouTube, and now it's being delayed 19 hours during the weekdays when it goes from like Monday to Tuesday, but like Friday's show doesn't show up until Monday morning at 9 a.m. and so that's how that is going. All right, so thank you for taking part of this bonus as I get into streaming shape here with the 2-a-days. And I guess I should be on the right screen. First of all, there we are. YouTube.com/coachstevemoney. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. And the financial content is right below the Oak Island playlist. The Ramsey Show After Show. This one is number 539. And there's 138 answering your financial questions in that playlist. And the music playlist has 12 Ramsey adjacent songs in there. Please do listen. Let's see, what would be one of those? How to do the baby steps right. Using the music and lyrical stylings of The Fray for How to Save a Life. So check that out if you are so inclined. Market report. And so that bad boy just closed. And it was not good, especially for the NASDAQ all day. Look, under. And then all of a sudden, right at the end, it comes up. And even, 5 minutes ago, the Russell Small Cap Index here was negative. And so I don't know what happened in that time. So who knows? If I find out, I'll let you guys know. If I find out exactly what it is in the moment, you probably can't. Well, let's see. They didn't change this. Waiver. No. So it's not saying anything about it. So maybe I'll check the financial news again at the end of the stream here after an hour has happened, and maybe then they can explain it to blame it on something or to give credit to something for it happened. Maybe the president burped or something like that. And so that's great. Positive day. So you cannot be upset about that. Again, we got Uber and AppLovin and Carvana reported today. Maybe they had good news, but the market was already closed by the time they announced. Not to say that things don't get linked. President sneezed, Crumble says. Got it. Apple down. Alphabet down a lot, and we'll talk about that dumb crap. Do I have that article? I think I just have the article of, just the Wall Street. Alphabet shares sink 8% after Apple's Q says AI will replace search engines. Okay. who died and made Apple's Q boss about the world. And okay, eventually, maybe Alphabet, maybe Google will not be the search engine of choice at some point, but that's going to take a while. All right. So you can tell me Google Chrome and the Google, I mean, you can use, another search engine with Google Chrome, but nobody bothers to change that really. Nobody bothers to change the search engine. And so them thinking is, 8% down because, what is Apple? I don't even know what Apple's Q is. Is that an AI as well? So an AI says AI will replace search engines. And maybe one day, sure, yeah. But that seems just dumb to me to be down almost 8% there. So that's pretty dumb. Let's see what else we have. Any other dumb news? The Gulf Sheik who pledged billions then vanished. Great. That's fun. That's fine. Oh, we wanted to see who was up the most here, and that would be the Amazon with 2% even up here. Cool, cool, cool. Always good to have everything up. And as I said, the Russell Small Cap Index was. Why is that still changing? Does it go to 430? Let's check a stock. No, it's done because it's the gray already, which is the after hours trading. So it's done. Why does it keep changing? Are they revising it like the government does with jobs data and anything else? Temperatures 30 years ago and stuff. All of a sudden they say, oh, well, we have to revise that. It's just full of dumb stuff in the world. Just crazy. Speaking of dumb stuff in the world, this from Yakima. I think that's in Washington State. I'm not sure, but not blaming them, of course. But Wall Street drifts after Fed warns of rising risk for economy, holds rate steady. Okay, that is so dumb. Oh man, it's going to get bad. We're not going to do anything to help that out, though, is basically this headline. You could lower it a freaking 0.25% without it being the end of the world, even if it is the wrong move. Why not be proactive and do something positive? Dummies. I think we're done with the market report. So maybe it's stopped now. Try it one more time. Oh, and I just looked a second ago and the US dollar was up over everything. Yes, 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 and yes. The clean sweep for the US dollar was not the case early this morning. All right. Let's get into some questions. So, from the Facebook group that is run by Ramsey Solutions, and that would be oh, I don't have my drink. How dare I? I'll make it through. It's only an hour. It's only about 41 more minutes. I can make it. 51 more minutes. I can do math too still. The Ramsey Baby Steps Community is the name of that. If it's called something else, then it's a Facebook group, but it's not the one run by Ramsey Solutions. All right. One of the mods of that Facebook group, so somebody that works for Ramsey Solutions, posted, if you could ask Dave Ramsey one question, what would it be? And here are some of the replies. These are some of the replies. And I, of course, left out the dumbass troll ones. And so definitely, if you have some that you would ask Dave Ramsey, you can put them in the chat. And of course, if they're dumb troll ones, I probably won't be able to see it because I have most trolls blocked. But even if I can see it, I'll just ignore it. Alrighty. What exact funds are you in? Yeah, everybody wants to know. They want Dave to tell them exactly what managed funds to invest in that beat the index. And it's not that hard to find them. You can find them yourself, or you can pay an investing professional to find them for you. Quit being lazy and trying to get everything handed to you. Dave Ramsey and myself, neither of us are investment advisors. We don't do exact funds advising. Mr. Ramsey gives the general advice, which is do evenly divest yourself 4 ways, 25% each, into small, mid, large cap, and international managed mutual funds that beat those indexes. And they can be found. Let's see. Honestly, just be honest. Again, just be honest. Don't put honestly. Don't say to be honest. Just be honest. The money stuff, if straightforward, probably means the money stuff is straightforward. Straightforward is one word. Also, I'm really interested in Dave's spiritual journey. What are some of the spiritual revelations Dave has had over his decades of walking and talking with Jesus? Okay, and that might be interesting. He has said before that he not exactly, this is not exactly it, so forgive me, Dave, but it was like something like, I met Jesus, something like on the way up, like while he was making his money still, and then, but when he went into bankruptcy, he got to know him. Or it could be that when he filed bankruptcy, he met Jesus, and then when he came out of it, he got to know him. One of those things. Anyway, so I'm sure that would be a better story if I knew the exact one, but he said something like that. How did he and Sharon meet? And I don't think I've heard that. Will he ever update the baby steps created in the 90s? We live in a different world today than, it's than, T-H-A-N, than we did then. Here it's used correctly. Then is correct here. It should be than right there, though. Different world today than we did then. And so as far as that one, he doesn't need to update them because they don't need to be updated. So your little excuses for not sacrificing, like, oh, it's a different world in today's world and all that bull crap. I've said this a million times before. In today's economy, no, shut up with that dumb crap and do the smart things with money. And that means you don't get to have everything you want. Sorry. You don't make enough money to make that happen. Sorry. Or you were dumb and took out debt and now you gotta fix that before you can have nice things. Sorry. Or you can just do the same dumb crap you want to do. He doesn't have to. Hey, how about I got a great idea? Got a great idea. Fabulous idea. Why don't you update them and do them and see if they work better for you? How about you try that? And we don't ever have to know how it worked out either. But certainly, if it works out great, then you should tell people. How he got to the dead straight mindset of doing it. Oh my goodness. Dead straight mindset of doing it. Like, I seem like, too many likes. I cannot fully commit. It's horrible. I got a great idea. Be an adult. Be an adult. Quit being stupid. Alrighty. And he might not say those exact words, but that's probably the same thing. I mean, really, okay? If you know it's the best thing to do and you still cannot do it, then you need psychiatric help. Then you actually have a problem if you cannot be an adult. How many guns do you own? Okay, sounds like a lot from what he said on the show. Would be surprised. Aside from the financial lessons that you're famous for, what's the one takeaway you have from your lowest point that you would share with others in the hope that they can integrate it in their own lives? And I have no idea about that. I don't think I've heard him say anything specifically like that. But I would assume it's don't give up. When you're at your low point, don't give up. Because obviously he recovered big time from that. Does he still have the card table he started his business on? That would be a fabulous thing to have. You could put that at Ramsey Solutions too, or you could probably sell it for a ton of money on the eBay. I bet if he does have that card table. That's a great question. After getting married, how long is too long to wait on getting baby step 2 started? Day 3, okay, this is all the same. Day 3, we created a budget, but are finding we have missing a payment here and there. Have been, I guess, missing a payment here and there. Still getting accounts combined too. Got a great idea. Again, basically the short version of the baby step is quit being stupid. How long is too long to wait on you should have already started that separately. And then you combine finances once you actually do get married. And creating the budget is great, but missing a payment, I got a great idea. Why don't you write down all of your payments and the date that they are due and put it on a calendar if you have to. Or you could set them all on auto payment. Generally, when people don't have that much money, that's not that good of an idea to do because they'll try to do the draft and then it won't work. And then you'll get fees from the bank on that. And then also late payment fees as well. So how about you keep track of it? If you're old enough to get married, you're old enough to handle your finances, one would think. So, man. When I was copying these questions, I didn't think I was going to get so angry. But anyway, I don't understand. I don't understand what the problem is here. What is it that you don't understand? Other than, I get it, you're changing from not paying any attention to how much money you're spending, what you're spending it on. Even when bills are due, you're not paying any attention to that. Now you are. But now you are, so do that. And so that way you don't miss a payment here and there. You can put it on a sheet of paper. You can put it on the calendar. You can put it in a spreadsheet. You can do whatever you want to. So, but yeah, baby step 2 should start immediately. As I say, if both of you have the $1,000 before you're married, you would be starting it on your own and then combining after you get married. Just learning how Roth IRAs work. When and how are taxes paid on Roth IRAs? And this is the beauty of the Roth IRA. Here's how they're paid. You know how when you get your check from your employer, there's less money in there, isn't it? Right? You don't get paid the gross amount. They take withholding for taxes out, right? They take that out already. In addition, it could be insurance, investing. You shouldn't be on that in baby steps 1, 2, and 3, though. Shouldn't be doing investing at all. But they take out taxes on the money that you made already. So that's all they get. They don't get any more. So say you are going to invest $300 every paycheck from, that's your money that you get. And after you get it, the taxes have already been taken out of it. So when you take some of that money and you put it into a Roth IRA, they've already gotten their taxes out of it. So that's all done. And guess what? In the Roth IRA, then on the other side, on retirement, when you withdraw the funds to live on, you don't owe any taxes on it. And that's why Roth would always be better. It's match, of course, 100% rate of return on that. Cannot beat that. But other than that, the next step is going to be a Roth account. It can be a Roth 401k as well. But you would again be paying taxes on your money that you contribute into there. So that's already taken care of. So you don't have to do anything. You don't have to pay taxes ever again. Now you also can't touch it till retirement though, in a retirement account. Otherwise there will be penalties and taxes and stuff. Let's see. I'd ask him why he never franchised Ramsey Solutions to allow it to be in other states. I don't know. I feel like for me, let's put it this way. There are Ramsey Solutions certified financial coaches that do it wrong and teach it wrong. And you know, especially one dumb one that called one time and anyway, well, never mind. He called the show one time. I'll leave it at that. And so he doesn't teach it right, and he like has different baby steps on his website. He changed like the small wording of another one, and he raised the amount of the step one. And so, but in general, he's not teaching things as the Ramsey baby steps and the Ramsey advice say. So I would imagine franchising it to other states, that would be meaning other people would be running it. And so that's probably a no for Mr. Ramsey. Now that we have saved for many years and now in early retirement, information from withdrawing here or there, save on taxes, rollovers, how to relax and be on the spend a little side. The game, okay? Weird. I don't know if that's me copying and paste it wrong. But, well, you wouldn't be rolling over anything in retirement. Probably. Because like if you were trying to roll over a 401k to a Roth, that's going to be a tax event. And so you wouldn't do that unless you had the cash available and didn't need it to live on in retirement. So you wouldn't have any rollover. The taxes on a Roth account, there would be no taxes on a 401k non-Roth. Any non-Roth retirement, you do have to pay taxes on the amount. So that means you will get less than like if you say you want you sell $800 and you want to take all that out, you're not going to get the full 800 because they'll be taking taxes out for it. And that's again why you pay the taxes on the very small contribution amount, and that way after you've invested for 30 years, even 20 or even 10, it's still going to be way more the amount of gains you've made. And so that's why you want to pay taxes on the gains. A lot of people will tell you, financial bros will tell you, oh yeah, but you'll be in a lower tax bracket when you retire. That's bullcrap. If you had never filed bankruptcy, do you think you'd still be using debt today? That I don't know about, because he didn't like the feeling of it. See, the thing that people don't realize is, I'm just guessing, but I would think most people think that, you know, the bank called his note and he said, oh, I can't pay that, I'm going to file bankruptcy. No, that's not how it happened. It was something like 3 years and he paid almost all of it off. He was up to something like only having 10% more to pay off. And then that's when they were going to, he says, come take Rachel's crib. And so I don't know if that's, you know, hyperbole on that or what that is, but you know, they were going to force the issue, I guess, and that's when he filed bankruptcy finally. And so he probably learned his lesson with debt regardless of the filing bankruptcy. But again, he did pay off almost everything ahead of time, and then later he ended up paying all of it that he owed, which is a great PR move if you are in the financial peace business, excuse me, and the no debt business, and the wanting everybody else to pay their debts off. So that's a great move there on his part. Why he's never included the taxes, Social Security fee, health insurance, etc. in his client's income math. He always says your income is $50K a year. You can live off $20K and pay $30K towards the debts. Hello, we're lucky bringing home $30K out of $50K salary. Yeah, I got a great idea. Why don't we work with a round number and it be close? It doesn't have to be the exact numbers. It's just an example showing you that you can do that. And so instead of taking that away from it, you're going to nitpick and say, well, it's not the exact number. So that's fine. But that's the deal on that. Because he doesn't need to get, again, for people to learn the lesson, he doesn't need to give exact numbers down to the penny. Hello, back to you. Think, McFly, think. Can you please do a show for widowers? And that's a common thing. People want him to do a show specifically for whatever little group they're in. I mean, I understand it's hard to lose a spouse. Absolutely. It's hard to lose anybody. So, but see, the advice does not change depending on that situation or not. It's still the same advice always. So you don't need one specifically for that. But yeah, everybody wants, somebody that has hangnail. Please do a show for people that has hangnails. I just wanted to think of something stupid there. But yeah, people want something for every little single group, and there's no need. That's the beauty of the Ramsey advice. It's the same for everybody. And as far as like what specifically the widow or widower needs to do, obviously you gotta, check on all the finances, make sure you know everything that was happening, make sure, anything about the estate plan, regardless of whether there is an estate or not, your state laws on what you inherit. If there's not a will, hopefully there's a will, and that would not do any good for widows or widowers to tell them get a will, because it's too late at that point. So how about we listen to the advice for everybody now instead of waiting for a show for your specific group. And how you identify or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's the same advice for everyone always. With all the tariffs, there's more than one, so there needs S on there. Will it negatively affect international stock that he recommends? Probably. I can't imagine it won't. Apparently China's economy is taking a hit. Oh, that's too bad. Maybe they should have thought about it. Maybe we should have thought about it by not charging them tariffs previously. And sorry for all the bulk selling item people that want to get it cheap from China and then sell it on Temu or wherever, or eBay or wherever they sell it. Sorry. The United States government doesn't need to subsidize your dumb crap that you're doing. Your little job. Don't need to do that. Find something else to do. How do we navigate retirement? We want to have money to enjoy it, but the stock market is super scary right now. If you think that the market is not going to come back and go to a new high, then I guess you should put all your money in high yield savings account and be satisfied. All you're going to get is about 5%. And that changes all the time. Could go a little bit higher, could go lower. Don't know, but if you don't trust the market, then where else are you going to put it? So, and if the stock market is super scary, if you can't trust the stock market, then, the federal government's next, US dollar next. And then guess what? We have more problems than trying to retire at that point as a country. What's your advice for young people who are making a lot more than the median income, but are still struggling despite doing everything right? If you're struggling, you're not doing everything right. My advice for young people who ask questions like this would be to be smarter. Be an adult. You should be an adult by now. Okay? Advice for young people who are making a lot more than the median income, then that means you're spending too much money. Right? Where's the money going then? If you make more than the median income, and the median income people are making it, then what's your problem? Yeah, you're spending too much money. Lifestyle creep, etc., etc., etc. When we get a team of lawyers, smart pro lawyers, so when we need legal help, we can find a trusted lawyer who we know will be helpful and godly. Yeah, I don't see that happen. And I mean, even with the SmartVestor Pro program that they have on right now, those people get vetted for sure. But they can answer all the right questions when they're being vetted, and then they go back to their little town and they get a recommendation for somebody, and they have an appointment with somebody that is recommended to them via the SmartVestor Pro program, and then they just tell them to do whatever makes the most money for the SmartVestor Pro instead. You do get that. They've had calls to the Ramsey show telling about that kind of thing, and fortunately the people knew enough to know that the SmartVestor Pro was full of crap. So unfortunately, some halos slipped there. So lawyers would even be worse for that. So I don't think that's going to happen, my friend. Can we reconsider pet insurance as a viable option? We cannot. I would believe. I don't know if that's what he would say right now, but since he hasn't said, hey, I've changed my mind on pet insurance, I don't think he will. So I think that's going to be no. No matter what little thing that you want, your little pet project, in this case, your little pet peeve, as it were, with the Ramsey advice, anything you want to be changed, is it going to be changed? Probably not. Probably not. So, just got to live with it. All right. We got no questions, at least not from people I can see. My mom is buying a car. These are just regular questions in the Ramsey Baby Steps Facebook group. My mom is buying a car in cash. What's the best tricks and tips for her? Her car was totaled in a recent storm, so she's not pleased with the current prices of cars. That doesn't mean anything. But she lives an hour away from her job, so she needs a car ASAP. I've heard that. I'll address it. Let me address this now. I've heard this from many other, even outside of like Ramsey and financial advice stuff like that. I've heard that so often from people that like, ooh, he's not gonna like that. Like a wife talking about her husband, like, and that was actually, it was a call one time. I think it might have been a sell the car moment. And Dave or one of the other hosts told her to sell the car, and she was like, ooh, he's not gonna like that. Tough crap. It doesn't matter if she's not pleased. That's the state of cars right now. That's the price. The price is the price. You being not pleased doesn't change a darn thing. Just in general, quit whining about everything and deal with the reality of the situation And that way you'll put yourself in a better financial position. What was the problem here? Okay, she's pleased with the car. So, but she lives an hour away from her job, so she needs a car ASAP. Great, she's got to buy a car. Don't go to the dealer, because the dealer is going to make it cost more. Because the dealer, you know what the dealer likes to do? The dealer likes to make money. They don't just buy a car, buy like a used car, or take a car and trade in, for example. So a used car, and they don't sell it to you for cheaper than they bought it for. They sell it to you for what they bought it for from the person, or what the trade-in credit they gave, and then plus on top of that they dump a whole bunch of profit on there for them. So you buy and sell private sale. It's better both ways. Sinking fund for pet care on once you get to step 4, sure. Simplifying the budget. Looking for advice on how to simplify our budget. Baby step 7, but itemizing and tracking has gotten really tedious because I have everything itemized in detail. All right, so my question is this. Are you just super lucky that you got to baby step 7 without keeping track of this? Without simplifying the budget? Are you just lucky? If you're not just lucky and you actually had a hand on it the way you were doing it, keep doing it that way. And it doesn't matter if it's tedious or not, because it works. So who knows if doing something else will not work. But let's see, I'm moving to an app from a spreadsheet. Okay. And I tried to do that. I tried the every dollar app, but it wouldn't do what I wanted it to do. So I went back to my spreadsheet, which did, you know what it did? It did what I wanted it to do, because I could make it do what I wanted to do with the formulas. But it still seems like, for me, I'm overcomplicating this. Probably overcomplicating would be 2 words. I mean, 1 word. You made it 2 words. Does it work for others to lump things like groceries, toiletries, pet food into one? Yes, I count everything that I buy at Walmart as groceries. I tend to buy all these things at the same places, right? Any concerns for streamlining categories as long as every dollar is accounted for? No, it's fine. The problem is, the more money you make, and in step 7, you might be, say, less attentive than somebody in step 1 or 2. Excuse me. Okay, I'm all right. No need to call the paramedics. I'm good. But yeah, you need to be probably even more steadfast in doing your budget. And so, I mean, it's possible that you just have a buttload of income, and so there were little things going that you didn't realize were being spent on. That could be happening. But otherwise, you did get to step 7, and so I would assume it was decent, at least. And so, but if you're trying to go to an app just to go to an app, oh, my friend said you go to an app, that doesn't mean it's going to work as well for you. So, but certainly try it. Sure, knock yourself out. Doesn't say what app though. But yeah, I just have categories like that for groceries, and everything I buy at the Walmart counts as groceries for me. No need to have anything. Some stuff I do have broken out. Like I don't buy that many birthday or Christmas gifts or anything like that where I have to make that a big category. Actually, I'm lying. I do make Christmas a category, and that would include gifts, and if I'm taking anybody out to dinner, all that as well. So I did lie about that part. Sorry about that. But in general, I do it like, well, you know, one gift at a time. But you can do it however you want to do it, as long as you know what's going on with your finances, as long as you know where every dollar is going. And if you know where every dollar is going, then there's no problem. And if you were keeping track of it previously, why didn't it get really tedious before? Were you excited because you actually had steps to do and now you don't? You're at the finish line? Is that what it is? So, I mean, I don't mind you changing anything. Just don't get screwed up. Tell you what, try the app, and if it doesn't work out, maybe you need to go back to the tedious way that you were doing it before. What do you do with your emergency fund in a high yield savings? I don't recommend that because most high yield savings don't have immediate access to the money. Doesn't have debit card or check writing privileges. Most of them don't. And guess what? I understand you want to make a little money off of your emergency fund, but it's not an investment. Repeat after me, not an investment. That's a thing that Rachel, I don't know if she still does, but used to say in live events. She would say, repeat after me, not an investment, right? So you're not trying to leverage that by having it locked up in a high yield savings. Definitely not a CD because there's a penalty to take that out early. But the problem with the high yield savings account is that it normally takes 1 to 3 days to get it to you, to get that money to you. Right? And the last time I had an emergency, it didn't ask me if I wanted to wait for the emergency to happen 3 days later. It didn't ask. I just had the emergency. So I fractured my humerus in the great state of Arkansas. I have mine in one account, but my other bank is offering 0.5% higher return. Should I move the money? So the problem with this is, guess what? They are offering that, but that's not forever. When it changes, it could go down worse than the other bank. So chasing 0.5% seems like a waste of time. Unless it's guaranteed forever, ever, ever, ever. But yeah, again, I recommend you have that liquid. And only, I think there's some high yield savings that do have a debit card access to it, and that's fine in that case. This is probably one of the few places I can share this without being accused of bragging. Yep. They accuse you of bragging because if you do it, then that means they can do it too. And they don't want to hear that because they don't want to do the sacrificing. This morning I updated retirement account balances and property values. We finally achieved a net worth of 3/4 of a portion. Change the accent there from Dr. Evil to, what's that? Plunkat. Something plunk something. I'm ashamed. What a Star Wars am I? That's from Force Awakens. Plunkar? Can't remember. Anyway, plunk something. Anyway, is the man's name. And he would give out the portions for basically trash things or whatever the scavengers found. And he only gave Ray 1/4 portion. And that's what he sounds like. I can't remember the name of the actor that played him. I can't remember off the top of my head. $60K left on the mortgage. Following a plan pays off. Absolutely. It does. Great email to receive. And that's this one from Experian. You no longer have a FICO score. Excellent. It's not Plutarch. Crumble. Are you just being dumb, or you actually thought that what it was? Thought that's what it was. It's not Plutarch. It's Plunk something. I'm gonna look it up. Just because I can't live to do it. Where's Simply when you need it? When you need her. I plant new plants. They planted in front of my apartment, and I'd like to know what they are. I'll find out next time she is with us. Plunk. Plunk. Force Awakens. Awakens. Unkar, my bad. Unkar Plut. Okay. See, screwed up. So, okay. So we're both wrong. Played by Simon Pegg, ladies and gentlemen. And nobody knows that because you can't see him because he has a costume on. Pegg is a frequent collaborator with director J.J. Abrams and his, okay. But that's, yeah, Unkar Plut. Okay, I knew the PL was in there and the UNK was in there. Okay, so we figured it out. Me and the Google, see, Apple Q didn't help me there, did they? No, they didn't. Saved money by eating at home today. Eating at home. I was going to say, if you eat your home, you aren't going to have anywhere to live. By eating at home, today made Chipotle bowl at home and put that $5. I would have used that Chipotle into savings. They cost a lot more than $5 now, I assure you, no matter where you are. Unless you have a DeLorean and can go back in time. They are not $5 anymore. Hi everyone, hi guys, looking for advice. We're currently still in baby step 2. Currently and still mean the same thing. You don't need both of them. And projecting to be in baby step 3 by the end of the year. Great. My question is, in which of the steps is it a good idea to go back to school and get a degree in a different field with the mindset of opening a business eventually? Well, you wouldn't be opening a business. You wouldn't be giving up your income until you were in step 4, at least. Because you don't want to be doing that dumb crap. Go back to school, which costs money, and then also leaving your job to open your own business. So what you should do is open that business now, and you do it at the speed of cash. And that's not cash from something else that you invest into it. That's cash only that comes out of that business. So for example, you want to sell stuff, you sell crap that you have on hand that you're not using, and then from that money, then you put that money back into the business, and then you buy stuff to sell. Like that kind of thing. And so that wouldn't be on baby step 1, 2, and 3. That's a NAR for that. That's a NAR for going back to school unless you have it completely paid for in cash. Otherwise, you do not do that. You do not save up money to pay for school. Instead, you get out of baby step 2 and then out of baby step 3 with money first, and then you think about a career change. And if you got a degree in a field already, I would question yourself about how sure am I if this is going to work out too, like the last one didn't work out. People just, they think, oh, just more school and then I'll go in a different field and everything will work out great. That's not how life works, people. Most new businesses fail. And nobody thinks they're going to be the one that fails. And yet it happens. Flunking out of college, and also business failing that you try to open up. Need help getting started. Where do I start? Step 0 would be a good one. Is there a book or guide that lays everything out? Maybe Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey. And on top of that, you might pick some fun things out of George's book, Breaking Free from Broke is what that's called. And that's newer, and that's better for the kids probably because he has the millennial snark happening there and so forth. He might be older than a millennial though, I think. I trun 40. Okay, well, don't trun 41 ever. Turn is that word. For this year, and I'm in a financial mess. Okay. I was laid off from my job November 2023 and didn't find work for almost a year, despite looking every day and having a ton of experience and connections. It was a tough market. Okay, so you can't look for every day and say, Okay, I'm gonna look. Let me look at all the job listings. No, that's not the perfect job. 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 Okay, didn't find anything and do that every day for a year. No, you take a job you think you're too good for instead. So that was dumb, and so you're probably in a financial mess, like you said. I believe you. Prior to this, the only debt that I had was student loans, which I was about to go into an accelerated payoff plan, but held off because I was laid off. Fast forward to today, I ended up tapping into my 401k. Terrible idea. Yeah, see, why didn't you didn't know it was a terrible idea at the time? And, people, I guess they get desperate and they make dumb decisions. It happens. And then maxed out credit cards to accumulate 57K in debt of high interests with no T on the end. Now on top of my student loans, I'm drowning and I feel so lost, in which it wasn't like this. Okay, again, I need to have a reality class with people. What you wish doesn't matter. I understand you feel lost, but what you wish doesn't matter. That doesn't change the reality. You have to deal with the way it is and make it better. You make it better. That's how that happens, not a wish. I need help. I need to figure this out. Any advice and encouragement would be appreciated. You did say you have a job now, right? Didn't make a point to say I have a job now. So yeah, you need a job if you don't have a job, and if you have a job, then you have income, and then you live on the bare minimum. You don't buy anything that's not 100% necessary, and hopefully you weren't doing that when you were living on credit cards either, or were you just spending money like whenever you wanted to, and buying dumb crap that you didn't have to buy as well. So that made the problem worse, obviously. So yeah, you start with baby step 0, which is get current on any regular expenses and any debts. That would be get current, would be one of the parts of baby step 0. But yeah, you just got to do all the steps. There's no wishing, doesn't matter. That is not going to happen. Doesn't matter. It's a waste of time to even say, I wish it were different. Well, because no crap, of course you do. What's the most unhinged savings thing you've done? Trying to get creative with my saving techniques here. I do things probably some people would not do. Probably a lot of people wouldn't do. I'm trying to think what the most weird thing I've done. I mean, nothing crazy. Probably one of the things that people have looked at me weird for, like for even friends and stuff that looked at me weird for, when I get X amount of napkins at the restaurant, at like maybe the Chipotle. I haven't been there in years though. But say Raising Cane's, perhaps, or Five Guys or something like that. If I have napkins left over from the amount that I've grabbed, I take them home. Because they're not going to grab those and put those back in the thing for other people to use. And understandably, I touched them. So, they'll just get thrown away. So that seems pretty dumb. So I take them home. I do have a napkin stash in my car as well. Because sometimes you need a napkin in the car. So let's see. That's what I've done. I mean, and it just depends on the person. People think I'm nuts for only like go get takeout and I don't have it delivered. I go get it. I'm the delivery person. And my tip is not having to pay anybody else a tip or a delivery fee. And so I go get it. Also, I don't get a drink from there because I can get a 2-liter for the same price or cheaper than they're charging for a small drink. So I do that. And, that's only a little bit of money at a time, but that does add up. I'm trying to think of anything else. I'll try to remember to keep those in mind and as I'm doing them so I can report them on here. But And I mean the regular stuff, like I save the have to have it video games. I did that with the Last of Us Part 2. Um, the Tomb Raider games generally I will get on the first day. What else? Madden, but I get that anyway. I get that early anyway because I have an EA Play Pro subscription, and if you were going to buy two EA games in the same year anyway, you're actually making money by doing the subscription instead of paying for those two games. So, but yeah, I would get Madden on the first day back before I did the subscription. EA Play Pro. Trying to think of anything else. Paul catching me late again. Well, better late than never, Paul. So the rest of this week, so that's what, tomorrow's Thursday, and then Friday, I'm going to be doing it at 10:27, and that's right after the Ramsey show ends on YouTube. They start at 9 a.m. now. And then also I'm going to do one at 4 to just see which one I like better and which one might have more views. I'm leaning towards doing it right after the actual show in the mornings, but we'll see. So probably I'll definitely do it tomorrow still, and then Friday, if I've made up my mind by then, I may not do a 4 p.m. one, or the 10:27 a.m. one. Alrighty. But yeah, I'll try to remember the most unhinged savings thing you've done. And it's not really, I mean, I guess it is savings if you're not spending as much money on something. So, I mean, I guess that's what they're talking about, not specifically to put it into savings, but yeah, anything you would do to save money, to not pay as much for something. You can buy more of something, like especially if it's something frozen at a grocery store. You can buy more of something when it's on sale. But that's not really crazy. I'm sure I do other things that like most people would never think of doing, and I'll try to remember to jot them down so I can report back on that. Baby step, what time is it? Baby step 4 here with a question. I inherited $10,000 and put $7,000 into a Roth IRA with Fidelity. Okay. I have deferred comp through Minnesota State retirement system and was going to choose the Roth option to continue my 15%. Yep. I was so excited to be able to fully fund 2 Roths until I was told you can only fund 1. Why is that? I did switch my contributions to before tax so I don't get penalized. Answer. Oh, yeah, I copied this answer too because I saw this. And the potential second Roth IRA is a spousal account. The spouse doesn't need to have income, but you do have to have a spouse in order to do that. But if it's through state retirement, it's probably a Roth 401k or Roth 403b. And so you can have that and the Roth IRA at the same time. You can't have both of those. And by law, they have to put any match into a regular 403b or regular 401k. They can't put a match amount into a Roth. You put your contribution, but what they match has to go in a non-Roth retirement account. So maybe you're confused about something there. Anyway. Either it's the spousal account that this person, and actually, no, you can actually open as many as you want. But for example, if it maxes out at 7K, you can open up 7 Roth IRAs, but the most you can put into any of them, if you want to fund them equally, would be 1,000 each. So 7K is the most Roth IRA money you can have for a year. And I think that's 7,500 now, I thought. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, so that's the dealio on that. So somewhere there's a problem here. I don't know that state retirement system can set up a Roth IRA for you. They may be able to, and I just don't know about it. And so if that is a second Roth IRA, you can have it, but you wouldn't be able to put any money in it because you put your max that you're allowed per year into your first Roth IRA. So, but if you're talking about a Roth 403B, since it's through the state, generally the government ones are 403B instead of a 401k. But both of those can be Roth options. But the problem is that not every employer offers a Roth version of their retirement account. All right, and then we're back to that. No, let's see how many more. Yeah, I still got plenty more, so we'll save those for mañana. But so I did the Ramsey question, so go ahead and delete those. This is fun content, huh? Delete that so I don't repeat it. Alrighty. And tomorrow, what's quick question? Maybe step 2, 25,000 of 103,000. Is that for mortgage as well? All right. Mother planning a trip to Paris later this year. Spread my brother's ashes to the... Okay, so this will be a fun one. All right. We'll do that tomorrow. Obviously, condolences on the loss of the brother and for the mother, for the son, for sure. But when you make financial decisions, you go based on the numbers really and what baby step you're on, not on anything else really. But we'll see. I'll talk more about that tomorrow. And sometimes they are hard choices for sure. Alrighty. One more time. I am Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified, not just a regular guy. Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach here. And if you are having money problems or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation with me at calendly.com/coachstevemoney. That link is in the description below, in the video description, also in the ticker below. You can email me at coachstevemoney@gmail.com if you have any questions about finances, financial coaching, or anything on my YouTube channel, or anything on your mind at all. Donations can go to paypal.me/CoachSteveMoney, to CashApp at $CoachSteveMoney, or a Walmart gift card to that same email address, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Upcoming streams, this stream, the Ramsey, every so often I do a video game one as well, but scheduled streams, only the Ramsey show, Aftershow. And for this week only, until further notice, I'm doing 2 of them just to see what it's like at both times. Right after the new time for the Ramsey show, when the Ramsey show is done with YouTube at 10:27 a.m. Eastern time, I'll start one of those, and then the bonus after show is at 4 p.m., which is the old Ramsey slot. And so might get more people just coming in that find me because they just put in Ramsey and it does say Ramsey show after show. So that people might see that. And so just to spread awareness, but I will probably by the end of Friday, I'll have a decision on which one I'm going to do going forward. Alrighty, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. And as always, make smart financial decisions every day and don't do it wrong.